Yes, glory, 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 glory to the Creator, glory to the one who have our best interest at heart, glory to Creator who brings forth truth in all things, who bring forth enlightenment to those who are seeking it. Yes, 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 we thank you. We give you the glory, glory to you, Creator, who have given us victory over our enemies and caused us to be strong, and that we might even endure this test of time that we are here on earth. Yes, that we might be pleasing in your sight in that great getting up morning, in that great day where we have to ante up, whether by war or whether by persecution or whether by martyrdom, whatever it may be, that we might ante up in that great getting up morning, not being afraid of the things that shall come our way, but knowing that can only get rid of this in this life, but yet you are the one that we should be pleasing for not only this life, but the next life. And we thank you. You give us a heart not to fear separation of the body, not to fear those things which other men can do to us. For we have trusted in you, we lean on you, and we cause ourselves to even go forth in you in this life. And we thank you. Yes, 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 yes. Many of us, we're so bound on love and all these things of relationships and stuff that we forget about who created us, that you want a relationship with us, and you'll never fail us. And we thank you. And we give you the glory and the praise that we have the victory in all things, relationships, over the enemy, over our flesh, and it's all found in your law, commandments, statutes, and ordinances. And we thank you, yes. And we thank God for those of you that have been here since day one, and we thank God for those of you who have come and moseyed on in between, and those of you that have just joined, and those of you that are about to get into this thing and study this word with us, that we might be that which brought up into the faith and to speak the same things which is in our Creator, even his word, his statutes, laws, commandments, and ordinances. Yes, we do thank God for you. Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Those of you on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook platforms, I'm T. Clay, and we're in the book of Enoch. Not Enoch, I'm sorry. I keep thinking that book of Enoch was just so good. I mean, it was just like a meal that you just remembers for months, years, and I mean a decade after you done ate it. Yes, very good meal for me. I don't know about for you, but I know for me. Yes, it's a cold day here in the eastern United States, but it's not as cold as much as up north. But the fact is, we thank God for weather. We thank God for being able to have a body to keep us warm. A house, home, whatever, a coat, shoes, or whatever. Now, we're in the book of Jubilees. Jubilees chapter 10. Yes, Jubilees chapter 10, and we ended with verse 28, verse 28 of Jubilees chapter 10. And it read about Ham and his sons, how that they built the Tower of Babel, which is called Babel, in the land of Shinar. And now we go to verse 29. This is where you get the curse of Noah toward Ham, son. It said, and Canaan saw the land of Lebanon to the river of Egypt. That's the Nile, I believe. And it was very good. And he went not into the land of his inheritance to the west. In other words, his land to inheritance is to the west. So if that was toward the Nile, then he had to go toward either. He was still up in the desert parts. He was still up in the northern parts. So he had to go west. What's that, toward the U.S., toward all that place? This is still, Mizraim still had influence over all his brethren, his relations. That is to the sea. And he dwelt in the land of Lebanon, eastward and westward from the border of Jordan. Now you look at Jordan, this is what he calculated it as to be, is Jordan, today's place of Jordan. See, one thing about the lands back then, there really was no borders. It was just a certain area That's it. There was no borders. We know if we pass this sea, we done got into a certain place. So you got to realize that the colonists made borders. Those who have caused enslavement and, should I say, stealing of lands caused the borders to have. So this is mine, mine. Yes. If you ever seen what do you got, a little fish go in under the sea somewhere, little seagulls going mine. You know, this is how they draw the borders. These are evil people. No man has nowhere to roam. They have joined land and fists and houses that no man had. A nomad would be arrested in the United States for just being a nomad. You'll get arrested even. I don't even know why the homeless even stay in the doggone cities. I mean, you got such a vast land out there, but even the federal government would put you out because you ain't in the system like he wants you to be. Oh, it's just a mess when God gets through. None of you gonna have a home. Your children ain't gonna have no home, but yet you will have a home wherever you want to lay your head. Yes, it belongs to no one because you're gonna die and leave it. Even this body, it belongs to the earth and it will be food for the worms. Yes. And let's go ahead home. And it reads in verse 29, to the west, that is to the sea, and he dwelt in the land of Lebanon, eastward and westward from the border of Jordan, from the border of the sea. Okay? And Ham, his father, and Cush, and Mizraim, and his brother said unto him, thou art settled in a land which is not thine. In other words, they put emphasis on that. That's not your land. That's not how it's supposed to go. Thou hast settled in a land which is not thine, and which did not fall to us by lot. Do not so, he's saying. Do not so, for if thou doest so, thou and thy sons will fall in the land and be accursed through sedition. Now, I don't know how these doggone colonists listen to this whore of Revelation to think that they had authority to take over everybody's land. See, this is what happened. To go in other lands and take it over. See, he said, I am the vicar of Christ. If you come, this is in the book of the Discoverers by Mr. Bernstein. He says, I am a vicar of Christ. And if you come to a land whose king was not a Christian, then you will that land is yours, so to speak, paraphrasing on that. But it's in the book of Discoverers by Daniel Bornstein, if you want to fact check me. Yes. There was one man that was of the converts that was allowed into the Vatican to see some of the things in the books that he has expounded on in his studies. But they didn't know that those books also told a lot of truths to those who seeking the Most High and want to know the origin of things and how things came about. Yes. But anyway, and Ham, his father, Cush and Mizraim, he said, do not so, in verse 30. For if thou doest so, thou and thy sons will fall in the land and be accursed through sedition. For by sedition ye have settled, and by sedition will thy children fall, and shalt thou be rooted out forever. And that same devil that was talking about we need some men, this is one of the people that he have gotten. I mean, just gross idolatry, gross witchcraft, and all kind of magic and demonic activity. Yes. Now, he said, thou shalt be rooted out forever. By who? They was rooted out by Israel, but Israel messed up. Or should I say Jacob, the children of Jacob. Now, that name Israel is questionable, because you go throughout the 66 books and you find out that they even renamed Joshua to O'Shea, whose name was O'Shea, to Joshua. Shaking my head. There's something else. Now he says, now dwell not in the land of Shem, for to Shem and to his sons did it come by their lot. Now, you talk about that part. It was, see, they got Israel by the sea. Most of us know that's not Israel. That's not even the place. We know it's in a different place, somewhere in that area, or maybe on the other continent. This is for you to research yourself. See, these things are often looked, because even in the land of, they call it Akubulon, in that land, the same converts tried to make Israel or Jerusalem in that area, in the middle of it. So we have a lot to ask God for if we want to learn what is real and what is what. But the earth is the Most High and the fullness thereof, and the meek shall inherit all the earth. It has nothing to do with just one place. And wherever God has his name, or whoever his name is in, there is the Most High. Yes, there is God. There is Tata Nzambi, Sanini Zini. That's him. Sanini Nini, that's him. He's in there. He's wherever he put his name. And if his name is in you, you're blessed. Yes. Glory. Hallelujah. Yes. Now, it says, now, dwell not in the dwelling of Shem, for to Shem and to his sons did it come by their lot. Cursed art thou, his own father, and cursed shalt thou be beyond all the sons of Noah, by the curse by which we bound ourselves by an oath in the presence of the holy judge. Now, there was a judge appointed. There's a judge appointed. Some of you call him Isus. Some of you call him Wahabashah. Yes. As far as you saying that he's this and that, this is what in the book of Enoch he is classified as. He's a prophet. He's a judge. He experienced the things of men that he might be able to judge men. The whole thing has been twisted to usher in the vicar of Christ. Or should I say, they say is Christ. He's done a lot of things that if you are judged righteous and you are judged forgiven, that your sentence will be eternal life. But if you are judged wicked and horrible and idolatrous and adulterous and fornicative, thieves and all this, he will sentence you as banned forever, even in the place where the Satans and those angels of the Satans are located and will be after their 10,000 years is up. See, we're nearing that 10,000 years, them 10 days. For one day, as with the kingdom of heaven, is 1,000 years in man's terms. He says, but he did not hearken unto them, in verse 33, and dwelt in the land of Lebanon from Hamath to entering of Egypt, he and his sons, until this day. Until this day, the day that this angel of presence, is talking to Moshe. He's talking to Moshe and tell him to this day, they're in the mount talking. To this day, he's saying, not this day. He's saying that day. They're still there this day. Yes, they're still there. I mean, just small and uncounted, mingling in with the children of the Most High. Yes, they're there. Now, because they did not drive them all out. Now, he says now, and for this reason they're in the land of Canaan in verse 34, the land that is named Canaan. And Japheth and his sons went toward the sea and dwelt in the land of their portion. And Madai saw the land of the sea, and it did not please him. And he begged the portion from Elam and Asher and Akfaxad, his wife's brother, and he dwelt in the land of Media, the Medes and the Persians, okay, near to his wife's brother until this day. And he calling his dwelling place and dwelling in the place of his sons in Media after the name of their father, Madai. We're going to read a little bit of chapter 11. And in the 35th Jubilee, in the third week, in the first year thereof, Reu took himself a wife, and her name was Orah, the daughter of Ur, the son of Kesed. And she bare him a son and called his name Sarai, in the 7th year of this week, in this Jubilee. What Jubilee? He's talking about the 35th Jubilee. Now, the 35th from what? From the creation of man. Even from the flood to the creation of man. You call 49 years time 35. And the sons of Noah began to war on each other, and to take captive, and to slay each other, and to shed blood of men on earth, and to eat blood, and to build strong cities and walls and towers and individual and begin to exalt themselves. Now, these are the works of angels in the minds of men. See, a lot of kings back then did not know, or some of them, the thought come in your head to do evil. You know it's evil. You know it's wrong. But you say, hey, I can prosper from this. I can get over on these folk. And so then you take it and you play with it. You sublimate it. And then next thing you know, you have done a hideous thing before the Most High. And you violated those he created. And he said, they ate blood. And this is one of the major things God tells us not to do is eat blood. So how in the world you think somebody going to be a man? Blood of a man shed for you? No, not the blood of men. No. That's more sacred to God than the blood of animals. To build strong cities and walls and towers of individuals, began to exalt themselves above the nation and to find out the beginning of the kingdoms and to go to war, people against people, nation against nation, and cities against city, and all began to do evil and to acquire arms and to teach each their sons war, and they began to capture cities and sell male and female slaves. Yes, this is what they did. And the son of Kesed, built the city of Ara of the Chaldees and called its name after his own name, the name of his father. It's Now we're getting somewhere else. We're going to another segment here. And they made for themselves molten images, and they worshiped each the idol, the molten image which they had made for themselves. And they began to make graven images and unclean simulacra and malignant spirits. Malignant, spreading spirits. Spreading, malignant means that it's always multiplying. Assisted and seduced them in committing transgression and uncleanness. See, this is what's happening to your mind. When you walk in unbelief, when you walk into transgression against the law, ordinances and statutes of the Most High, your mind is getting taken. When you walk out of your gender, your mind is taken. When you walk out of the laws of marriage and a man and a woman together, your mind is being taken. Now the prince, Mastema, exerted himself to do all this, and he sent forth other spirits. Now this was a captain of spirits. Those who were put under his hand to do all manner of wrong and sin, all manner of transgression, to corrupt and to destroy and to shed blood upon the earth. Now this guy, he took the place of those watchers that was cast into the abyss for 10,000 years, which have not even ended yet. I don't, as far as their carbon dating and all that stuff, that's a bunch of malarkey as far as I'm concerned. A way to lie to you and think you and say I'm this and I'm right, if you get what I'm saying. Now, shed blood upon the earth, verse 6 in chapter 11. For this reason he called the name Shirog, and for everyone turned to do all manner of sin and transgression. See, men weak-minded, not meditating on the word, even the law, statutes, and commandments that they've been taught that were from God each day. Did not resist those devils with those things too, because he said if you're going to resist temptation, you have to flee it. Submit yourself to the Most High. You have to do it. And this devil will flee from you because what? You're not going to budge. And he grew up and dwelt in Ur of the Chaldees, near to the father of his wife's mother, and he worshiped idols. And he took to himself a wife in the 36th Jubilee, in the 5th week, in the 1st year thereof, and her name was Melika, the daughter of Kabar, the daughter of his father's brother, and she bare him Nahor. And in the 1st year of this week, and he grew. Well, we're going to leave it at verse 7. The daughter of Kabir, the daughter of his father's brother. And with that, we're going to say peace.